X runs. I'll be your host for the next little while here. And just a reminder that we do have a bunch of donations, and that so far we've raised just over $1,000. Thank you so much so far. $1,109. That's amazing. We have a lot of races Sunday. So if you want to see the language bit war change in favor of English, you can definitely donate to that. For Metal Gear Solid 2. If you want to see, you can change the terrain in Sonic R, so you can choose whether there'll be snow or no snow during the race. Between Count Gooby and Commander. Definitely donate towards that. And of course, naming all the Chrono Trigger characters are available. So we're just going to play a little bit more music, and then we'll get back to you shortly with the next runners.
Watch the boys who watch the girls go by. The boys watch the girls while the girls watch the boys who watch the girls go by. I rise, they solemnly convene to make the scene. La 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 la.
Alright guys, your favorite Hedgehog is on the scene again. Foe's gonna run Sonic 1 for us and commentary Chrono. Take it away, guys.
Hey,
Hello.
what's up?
Is it your favourite Hedgehog? I thought everyone liked Sonic 2 instead. Is it different?
It's not the same guy?
No, I mean if you can't spin dash, everyone hates him suddenly.
Yeah, I think he lost a little weight for Sonic 2, or maybe he got taller. It's hard to say.
I see a Gray Metallic one too. Was that Sonic 2? He was.
No, I think that's Sonic 3.
Ah, dang.
Right.
Very confusing.
But we get the OG this time.
He's on the timer because I'm not. I'm just gonna count down. It's gonna work. Is that the way?
Yeah, just do your spiel, and when you're ready, do the audible countdown so Chubbis can do
That's
his
amazing.
timer.
Don't even have to do
Good
the
luck.
work. Yeah, thank you. All right, yeah. I'm gonna play Sonic 1, and hope you enjoy. That's it. No, I'm Foe, and Cronin's commentating.
Yep.
Good morning. I'm streaming from bed. And yeah, I'm gonna count down. Once it gets to the menu where I can actually start, I mean the title screen. So 3, 2, 1, and go. Apologies in advance for hearing my spacebar be whacked fairly hard at some points here, because I need to pause the game really definitely at some points. So yeah, this is Sonic 1, this is Green Hill 1, and if you don't get a 25, you have to give up your speedrunner card or whatever it is. So there we go.
Yeah, it's pretty simple stage. Just some not so precise jumps. Gotta get the loop jumps for the extra speed and not
it's the loop
get
jumps that are... That's the
you don't
ones
want to
that
get
take it.
killed by the camera at the end too. That's the thing. You want to jump.
True, since you go so fast from the loop jumps, you have to actually avoid hitting the death plane when the camera doesn't lower with you as quickly. So here's the first little glitch where we're going to get through the wall by bouncing off the buzz bomber there. You can use that wall to do a level wrap, but it's ridiculously unlikely to work. So I'm not gonna.
It's sort of for the same reason, like you'll hit the bottom of the screen, like in Green Hill 1 and die
It
most
also
of the
only
time.
saves 4 seconds, so... Well, 4 or 5.
No, not worth.
The classic bonus screens. Should I be marathon stratting? Should have gone to 30 seconds in Green Hill 1? Oh well.
Oh no.
Alright,
So
here's...
yeah, if oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, hopefully this is the first difficult thing in the run, I guess.
Yeah, this strat looks really cool when you pull it off right.
I've missed it already. So you may have seen Top Route before, people who are watching. Oh no, just want to restart this level now. Oh well. Because it looks pretty cool when you bounce off of like 4 different objects in a row without being able to see any of the level underneath, and then land immediately on the boss. But whoops, I missed it immediately. The way I missed it there was that slope that you jump off of to get up to the highest platform real quickly. It can send you at slightly different angles, and I actually got a really good angle and jumped way higher than I was expecting, so I had to try and slow down on purpose, but makes it way harder to time the background visual cues. Oh well, don't worry, the rest of the game is far more broken from here on out.
Oh yeah, starting with Marble 1. You got some really difficult tricks here. Well, fairly difficult. There's a few of them that you can try, but you skip the entire underground section if you do them right, so they're absolutely worth it.
So I hit left for like 3 frames instead of 2 frames there, because you can't hold left for more than 2 frames. Otherwise you slow down slightly too much, so we're doing the old backup on this one. There we go. So yeah, there's a new Marble 1 for people who haven't seen the first one I was trying to go for, where you get straight through that wall all the way from over there.
It's kind of the same idea, except you have to jump before you reach that the pit, and you have to jump like I believe frame perfectly to get through
it's a frame
the wall.
perfect jump. So's that one, but
Right, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like Mike's old way. Oh, here's the first level wrap. There we go. By just pressing right at a specific time on the last pixel of that platform, and then jumping on the frame after you press right. And this is the signpost everyone knows and loves.
Wow, that's IL world record. Great job, man.
Oh yeah, has anyone got a 10 yet? 10 is possible. 10 is possible task-wise.
Oh shoot.
Can't remember if like TNT or someone has got it yet.
Legendary. It's that would happen.
Right, here we go. Oh yeah, I actually got that one. I find that one much harder because that one's not pressing jump a frame after you press right. It's pressing jump like 3 frames after you press right. And you have to squeeze under the platform that's rising up and down, and so you have to time the right press in the correct place in the first place. And then we do a slightly safer boss fight for the fact that we have 0 rings right now. Get a 29. Okay.
Wow, nice wiggle dance. That's pretty good.
Oh, the left, right? Yeah, I must admit, I think that's an emulator advantage.
Oh no. I mean,
'Cause I'm playing on
any
keyboard.
dance is great.
Although I plan to like keyboard in a Genesis and just play it on keyboard on original hardware, because I have all the I have the console in the game. Thanks to, I think, Pancakes' old console I now own. Which originally Lion had in the UK and now I have. Oh, why am I trying to do that strat? Okay, I'm too used to doing dance pad strats right here, so... I went for a
Spring Yard
side
1
strat.
is another glitchless stage.
That's true, unless you're going for the IL, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's some kind of weird like
Yeah, it's a completely
what's
unique
it,
one.
like stair clip in a slope or something.
Yeah. So yeah, we get, after skipping like every stage of Marble, we get a couple of glitchless stages for Spring Yard. That doesn't mean that there's any less kind of frame perfect windows. Well, I guess there are 2 frame windows mostly in Spring Yard, if you want to do the optimal jumps. They're all 2 frame windows mostly. Oh, didn't want to bounce off that second grab. Oh well, I just take damage. We get that jump off there, we hit the speed cap on purpose, and we get to roll under those on a nice cycle. Oh, it just fell down the gap. And then that jump there is like a 2.5 frame window, depends. And that's a 2 frame window. Oh no, I just missed the last jump, got slightly slower to the exit, but...
That's pretty
then
good.
You can roll infinitely, because there's a slope on the end screen. Love it. Okay, we're gonna set up
This
a
game
cycle,
is fine.
walking to the left there for a bit at the start. Just so I can make sure to get under both those spikes with 0 rings and not die to them. And that gets us a cycle earlier up in these blocks. Then we get an early cycle by jumping up like that, and then we get an early clip by doing that. And then we go in a frame perfect position here and press some frame perfect buttons to drop down to the next level, and that puts us out far nearer the end. So that was actually a really good level for this. I got fast cycle and fast clip up in the blocks. Because there's other ways of like clipping up in there that are slower than falling immediately straight down to the bit where you're zipping.
That was awesome.
That's the fastest possible boss fight as well, nice. Sometimes the boss doesn't let you hit him on every one of his hits, and I haven't really worked out why. Oh, not quite sub 50. Just on the 50.
So next stages coming up are the Labyrinth Zone stages, and casually, for beginners, like these stages are pretty difficult, and there's a lot of water, spikes, and just weird geometry, but it's actually really fun, and there is some interesting tricks in it too. Starting with Act 2, and Act 3 especially has an insane one.
So I want to be just on the edge of this platform here so we can go back up past the spikes and jump onto this newly spawned scrolling platform, get us over most of the level. Oh, that was an early jump, I was scared. Right. We made it. If you miss that jump, you die instantly.
Whew.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no, I forgot the word, but like if you get hit by spikes, you're not invincible when you land. You will die.
Your iframes don't work just with spikes for some reason. And they actually patched that on an older release, right? I mean, like a later release. Newer release later. One of the versions actually doesn't have the spike glitch anymore.
I think
I
that's
like to run
one
on
in
this
the
old version.
compilation.
Yeah, probably one like that. So we're trying to make a cycle at the start of this level, we get under that spike wall and then this one. Easy. And there's a really specific angle you can try and get springing up here, which I missed, but you can hit your head on the roof just above the monitor and go straight onto that button there. It saves a 1.5 seconds or something. And then you get on the right hand side of that switch without touching it the first time, because it's only a one-shot trick here. You can just run onto the door that the switch opens as it's opening and it takes you into the wall. So you have enough speed to zip straight through the wall to the end. Perfect marathon time of 30 there. Alright, here's the hardest thing in the run for sure. One of the hardest things in all of the classic Sonic games. I'm doing a sub-pixel manipulation to change it from a 50-50 chance to a 100% chance if I do everything correctly. So now I'm over here, the hard part begins. We want to damage boost off this spike, get on a pixel perfect location on this cork before it descends, which is this pixel, that's good. Then we start zipping. Oh, I got subpixeled. I could see that I was on the correct pixel, but then it didn't allow me to zip because I wasn't quite far enough in to the pixel there, so I just reset the cork and try a couple more times. I've gone up too far to the left now. I'll give this a few tries because you don't normally see it in marathons.
Yeah, this trick was kind of like looked into pretty recently, and yeah, it's been analyzed quite thoroughly to get it to be done. It was considered an impossible trick, not even an IL strat for the longest time.
Right, we're zipping, another frame perfectly get in the wall. Yeah. And then we need to align our subpixels a bit on this wall, and then frame perfectly pause and jump at the same time there to get through that wall. And there you go.
Oh, no way.
Good subpixel luck as well.
Wow, that's awesome. Good job.
I'm glad I could show it off in the marathon, yeah. It was like third try or something.
And the time is 69. Hell yeah.
Nice. I think the good time is 36 if you don't do the subpixel myth, and like 39.40 if you do. If you get it first try. So now we're on Starlight, which is another zone where we skip every level of it. I just had to get in a pixel perfect position in the time that it took those stairs to descend there, and then it's also subpixel dependent, so you have to get in a certain subpixel range off that pixel. But you can kind of, even though you can't see subpixels, there's 255 in every pixel that aren't displayed, obviously, because they're smaller than a pixel. You can still kind of tell how far through you are of a pixel, because you can tap the left button and not move. Not visibly move a pixel, but you know you're moving subpixels up in that pixel. If that makes sense, I don't know.
I think you can tap like around 12, 13 times before you move a pixel.
Maybe you can, because I definitely can't. Here, shoutouts to Shoppers for this one, making Starlight 2 consistent. You just use the fan, jump at a specific angle to use the fan to push us into the floor there, and then if you jump on some frame perfect locations out of the floor, you go through the level boundary every time. When the game sees a negative X coordinate, it puts you at the highest possible X coordinate. It doesn't know what negative one is. That is the gist of a level up, which I probably should have mentioned already. Right, I'm going to go for something stupid at the start here, because why not? Oh, you see how close that was? So there's a really stupid
No.
jump. That was one frame off. It involves doing kind of 2 frame perfect jump presses as you piano from jump to jump, but one of them was 1 frame off in that case. So here we use a fan to get on the floor again, and we're going to try and level wrap with this by jumping off of consistent frames. This one isn't as consistent because there's a subpixel window which is like 2/3 probability of working, but we got it. It let us through the level boundary luckily, which means we're straight to the boss fight. Oh, I missed the good hits. Uh-oh. We're at the slow boss fight now. So each of these jumps off of the seesaws when they're just like empty seesaws, and I'm jumping off the top of them before they move down. You want to jump on like the first possible frame that you can, otherwise the seesaw will move down too far and you won't get high enough to hit him. So pianoing the jumps really helps there. To get that height for the early hits. So that wasn't bad. That wasn't that bad level. That was alright. And that means we're on actually the last zone of the game already. I'm going to try and show something off because we haven't seen it in a marathon before either, I think. So there's a new slope glitch found on this level. First try. It means I can actually save time on this level. So this is almost worth going for. It saves like 2 seconds if you get it first try, which is not often going to happen. So yeah, you do some stuff. Oh, I came out of the wall quite early there. No, I lost slope glitch. I wasn't expecting to lose slope glitch there. I wanted to use that final slope that I was standing on to walk up into the ceiling, get a final zip across. So we'll just finish the level slowly. But you saw most of that first half done with the new slope glitch strat.
Wow, you're killing it this run.
Thank you. No, I haven't actually been practicing this a massive amount since a month ago, where I did it in a few IRL marathons and just after getting the record. Here's the second hardest trick in the game after Labyrinth 3. It's jumping frame perfectly twice, so I was a frame late on the first jump, so I'm going to try it again. I have 3 lives to... I have 3 more tries, in lives-wise. So you have to do everything exactly correctly from the very start of the level here to keep your horizontal subpixels exactly where they're expected to be, and your speed value coming around this wheel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times around the wheel, and then we jump the frame after I'm pausing on that one, so that's good. So that's 2 frame perfect jumps, which I use pause buffering to help with slightly. So. But that's not the end of this trick. See here we hit the signpost there. The signpost is actually way below us, and its hitbox extends vertically upwards forever. But we need to get back in bounds without kind of soft locking on the wrong side of this laser, because you know the cutscene that plays at the end of this. So there's a couple more frame perfect inputs here. We pause frame perfectly there, that's good. And then we hit one of the many windows here, that's the perfect one. Nice, there we go, we get on the left side of that laser instead of falling in with the right with the Robotnik and having to die to him and to restart the level. So that was a really good scrap 2, second try. And then the final scrap 3, we just, you know, get slope glitch and walk up straight to the loading trigger of the final zone. Then I have to remember the order of the final zone, which I never do. Until recently, fun fact on the final zone, we used to think that you weren't allowed to hold any D-pad while getting the hits on Robotnik. Otherwise it changes the order. But actually, it turns out you can just hold D-pad while hitting Robotnik, and for this entire time, it's been a like mass placebo effect for everyone. But it may be because on the first hit, when you're holding D-pad, it sometimes means that you kind of bounce back into him a second time, and that's what changes the order if you touch his capsule a second time after getting a hit. So, yeah, public service announcement: you're allowed to hold D-pad while you hit Robotnik. The order stays the same.
That's incredible.
Which means there's just one final important glitch to do after this final hit on the boss, and then time is coming up. And here is decapitation. Last time. Well, in 2 seconds, there we go. Yeah.
GG.
Wow. Yeah, that was an awesome run.
That was great. I got all the hard tricks, I think, pretty much, apart from Green Hill 3, damn it.
So 1733 on our timer.
1733 RTA with bonus screens is like, what is that? 16 minutes RTA minus bonus screens. So it's probably about a 11
Not many
minutes
people haven't run
in-game.
that game that fast. Let's just say that.
I'm just trying to work out the in-game time because that's the leaderboards are sorted. But yeah,
It's a top 3 time or something like that. And it's pretty high.
it's either a 10-minute or just on 11. But yeah, cool. thanks for watching. Glad I can show it off. Glad I can show off all the hard strats basically in the marathon.
You make a frame perfect run sound easy. Just I'm gonna hit frame perfect here.
I counted the number of technically frame perfect presses in this game. It came out to what was it, like 16 or something, and then there's like 10 2-frame windows if you want to do everything optimally. But yeah.
Awesome. And thanks for Chronon for commentating as well. And you'll be back with us shortly to do some dolphin stuff, some echo.
Oh yeah, good
Yeah.
luck, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Please continue to watch and support the marathon. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And coming up, we do have Sonic CD 2011, ran by Shane Kills, and Cave Quest will be commentating that. There's no additional donations here, so we'll play some music, and we'll be back with you guys shortly.